Welcome back to Boomeranting in the freezing Norwegian woods. If you watch this video, you will be lonely. Let's talk about this. If YouTube has recommended this video to you for you to watch, the algorithm knows that you're kind of a nerd, right? You probably came here from watching like Luke Smith or Sylvan Franklin or Tsoding or Primeagen or some equally dorky fellow YouTuber. Which means that if you look at the IQ bell distribution, you're probably on the right-hand side of it. Probably quite far along the right-hand side of the IQ distribution. Now, IQ is complicated, sure. It's not very simple. Intelligence is not that simple, but you're probably somewhere in there. And if you look at the distribution, you'll notice that there aren't that many people on that extreme, right? Same for the other extreme, but that's not the one that you're in. Not a lot of people, which means that statistically speaking, if you're watching this, you've always had a hard time connecting with people or even finding people to connect to. It's not a case that you're bad at talking to people, although that could be the case as well. And if it is, fix it right now, because everything is people. We'll get into that in a second. But for me, for example, I've always found it difficult to find people with whom I connect, people who get me. And I'm not going to reveal my IQ. This is not an IQ reveal video, but it's pretty up there. It's pretty high. And it always took people in a similar range to me for me to actually want to talk to them for more than 5 minutes, to do more than just exchange pleasantries. Because there's this effect that happens where if someone is more than a standard deviation away from you, about 15 IQ points in either direction, you're going to have a very hard time being able to talk to them. Simply because you just won't find the same things to be interesting. I like computers. I like science fiction. I like reading and writing. I like weird psychology stuff. And that's just not most people. I don't care about sports ball. Go sports ball, yeah, my team, dude. My team, look, I'm wearing another man's name on my shirt. I don't care about any of that stuff. And it doesn't mean that if you're into sports ball, you're not intelligent. I have met people who are very intelligent who are into sports ball. And the point of this video isn't to demean people who are average intelligence. You need people who are of average intelligence. But my point is that the further to the right you are of that distribution, the fewer people that you're going to be able to find that you can actually talk to. It's quite chilly. I am wearing shorts right now. So what do? Are you just destined to be alone for the rest of your life? Not really. I mean, one thing you can do is try and work in circles where you're going to find similar people, right? So computers is a pretty good bet, more and more so now that it's becoming less easy money do yoga at work and more actual work and knowing computers and stuff, knowing about computers. I made a video before this one about how computer programming is dying and why that's a good thing. It's a card. There's a card I think on that corner. Maybe? I don't know. I'm not very good with maps. But I've made a video about how the normies are leaving computer science. And how maybe, once again, it can become the domain of the kind of people who built Unix and C. And those sort of people. So that's one way to find them. But what if you find them? Because just because someone kind of thinks like you, it doesn't mean that you'll get along very well. And that's true. So what do? You just accept it. You accept the fact that you're not going to get along with everyone, and that it's difficult to find people with whom you 100% agree on everything. And that's fine, like you can be, I'm kind of overexposed here. It's literally 1 p.m. and the sun is already setting. Man, Norway's pretty cool. It's okay to have friends and not agree on everything, right? You can have friends who are also into computers and also into whatever, painting little toy soldiers and then fighting with them, right? I'm looking at you, Henry Cavill. It's okay to have friends like that and not agree on everything. You don't have to agree politically. You don't have to agree on pretty much anything other than the fact that sports ball is probably pretty boring, and that whatever nerdy autistic thing you're into is probably pretty cool. And what your mom says doesn't matter, okay? What my mom says about my little painting toys doesn't matter. Now, look, if you can never find any friends, there are two problems that you might be having. One is that you're just not exposing yourself to environments where these people exist. That's one possibility. But a second might just be that you're just very unlikable. And you might think, I don't need to be liked, I just need to be a computer nerd and know my stuff. That's not really true, is it? Because I don't know how to tell you this, but everything is other people. Everything that you're ever going to do is going to involve other people. To some extent. You are not an island unto yourself. That's impossible. Even if you just like computers, the delivery guy from Amazon who's delivering your new computer, he still has to not be annoyed by you enough to drop off your computer. Social skills are important. Learn how to speak. Learn how people work, man. Like, there's this meme of how to make friends and influence people, right? It's a very old book written by what appears to be someone who may have misrepresented who they are. Doesn't matter. There's a very good piece of advice in this book, and Sylvan Franklin stans are going to know what I'm talking about. But there's this meme where you should, if you want to be interesting, if you want to be a master conversationalist, you should get really good at listening to what people have to say. Stop talking about yourself constantly and let people talk themselves into liking you. That's a pretty good tip. I wouldn't recommend abusing this, but people will still do it even if they know that you know about this tip, because people are starved for attention. Conversations now are just people waiting for their turn to speak. And so if you actually are interested about what the other person has to say, don't fake it. That's cringe. But if you actually care about what the other person has to say, and if you are the kind of person who watches this stuff, you're curious by nature, so you will be, then people will just like you. Stop talking about the project that you've been working on and all the little intricacies of the code. Oh, bro, I have this function that does everything. Like, stop it. Just ask the other person about themselves. Let me give you an example. Hey, let's practice this right now. Hey, how are you doing? Are you doing good? This is me. We're talking. My face is 5 inches away from yours in real life right now. Hi, I'm making a game. Hello, I'm making a game. It's really fun. Do you want to learn about it? Do you want to hear about my game? It's written in C. Hello, I'm rebuilding Doom from scratch. Hello, do you want to hear about my game? Do you see what that's like? I mean, if you're a freak, maybe you're really into that. I don't know. But most people are going to be freaked out and annoyed by that. Just stop talking. Just stop talking and let people talk. Let people Give someone the gift of being able to express themselves and not having to constantly just talk over you. Just be cool. Another way to find people who are like-minded is to read books. I know you'd rather be on Discord, but here's the thing. There are a bunch of very smart people who have lived a long time ago, some a very long time ago, who have recorded their thought patterns in the form of books. Now, over on my GitHub, I have a list of books that I've read. I know it's a bit cringe to talk about how many books you've read, but I think it's important. I think it's important for us autists to stick together and to help each other out. And if you go for their list, there's a bunch of really cool, there's some Harry Potter in there, don't worry, ignore that. But there's a bunch of really cool books as well, which will definitely expand your mind if you read them. There's a lot of authors like Isaac Asimov, Robert Heinlein, people that I'd never got to meet because they died before I was born. And yet I get to be in their presence when I read their books. I get to experience their mind and their thought patterns. And if you can't find those people in real life, you can definitely find them in book form. Now, of course, there is another way that you can meet these people, and that is by subscribing and giving me money. Give me money, please.